Hello, sweet peas. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas break. And this week, we're going to start this week off by learning how to solve for three variable equations. First semester, we used substitution and elimination to solve for x and y. And we're going to use kind of both of those, mainly elimination, to find x, y, and z. So the first step we're going to do is I want you to write down, we're going to get rid of z. So we want to get rid of z. That's our first step. So I'm going to take these first two equations, just because they're the first ones written, x plus y plus z equals 4, and then 9x plus 3y plus z equals 0. Elimination's the easiest one to work with, so I need one of these z's to be a negative in order for them to cancel. So I'm going to multiply that top equation by -1, which gives me negative x minus y minus z equals -4. I'm going to rewrite the second equation, 9x plus 3y plus z equals 0. My z's cancel, so I add 8x plus 2y equals -4. Now I'm going to put a star by that because I'm coming back to that equation right there. Now, the second step, I've already eliminated z's in the first two, but I need to still eliminate that z in the third equation. So since I already have a negative z right here, I'm going to use the first equation and the third equation. So my second step, I've got negative x minus y minus z equals -4. And then I have 4x plus 2y plus z equals 1. I'm going to cancel out my z's, so that gives me 3x plus y equals -3. Check my math, so I'm going to put a star by those. That is step number 1. Okay, now that we have our two equations, 8x plus 2y equals -4 and 3x plus y equals -3, I'm going to solve for x and y by using elimination. Personally, I think elimination is the easiest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel out my y's. So I'm going to multiply that bottom equation by -2. So I'm going to have -6x minus 2y equals 6, and then I'm going to rewrite the first one, 8x plus 2y equals -4. So after that, the y's cancel, leaving me 2x is equal to 2, so x is equal to 1. So step number 1, you're going to get rid of x. Get rid of z, my bad. Step number 2, after we have our two equations for x and y, we're simply just going to solve by elimination or substitution. Now that we found x, I'm going to plug x back into one of these two equations. I'm going to pick the bottom one. So I have 3 times 1 plus y equals -3. So I have y is equal to, I believe, -6. Check my math. So now that I have x and y, I'm going to use one of the original equations. I'm going to use the top one, x plus y plus z equals 4, and I'm going to substitute 1 in for x, -6 in for y, and I'm going to solve for z. So that gives me -5 plus z equals 4, and z is equal to 9. So I found x, y, and z. So when I go to write my answer, I'm going to do x, y, and z, and then box it. And I'm done with number 1. Okay, step number 2. You have the problem 2x minus y plus z equals 2. You need to be copying this down. X plus 2y plus 2z equals 3. 2x minus 2y plus z equals 0. Just like step number 1, our goal is to eliminate z first. So I'm going to take the first two equations. I have 2x minus y plus z equals 2. And then I have x plus 2y plus 2z equals 3. Now, I need my z's to cancel. So in order for that to happen, I'm going to multiply the top equation by negative 2. So that's going to give me negative 4x plus 2y minus 2z equals negative 4. I'm going to rewrite the second equation, x plus 2y plus 2z equals 3. Draw a line. My z's eliminate, giving me negative 3x plus 4y equals negative 1. We're going to put a star by that because we're coming back to get that equation. Then if you notice that the first equation and the third equation both have z's, so I'm going to use both of those, but I'm going to multiply that top equation by a negative 1. So that's going to give me, step number 2, negative 2x plus y minus z equals negative 2. Remember, all I did was I multiplied that top equation by negative 1. Then I'm going to rewrite the bottom one, the third equation, 2x minus 2y plus z equals 0. Draw a line, cancel out my z's. Look what happens now. My x's are also going to do what? They're going to cancel, leaving me negative y is equal to negative 2. So y is equal to 2. So we went ahead and in one step got y. So now I can plug y into this equation to get x. So I have negative 3 times x plus 4 times 2 equals negative 1. So now we simply solve for x. Negative 3x plus 6 equals negative 1. I'm sorry. 4 times 2 is 8. My bad. Let's go ahead and just take that out, sorry. Plus 8 equals negative 1. So I have negative 3x is equal to negative 9. So x is equal to what? Right, positive 3. So now we have x and y. So our third step is I'm going to plug x and y into one of these equations. To be honest with you, I think I'm going to do the bottom one. So I'm going to say 2 times x, which is 3, minus 2 times 2 plus z equals 0. So that gives me 6 minus 4 plus z equals 0. So I have 2 plus z equals 0. So z is equal to negative 2. So we have found x, which is 3, y, which is 2, and z, which is negative 2. And we're going to box our answer. Okay, our third example, we're still going to eliminate z. Some of you may be thinking, well, let's eliminate the x or the y, and that's fine. But I really would like for us to get in the habit of doing the same thing every time, so that way these problems don't seem so monstrous for us. So to eliminate z, I'm going to take the first two equations. I have x plus 2y minus z equals 1. 2x minus y plus 2z equals 9. And I'm going to multiply that top equation by 2 to get the z's to eliminate. So when I multiply that top equation by 2, I have 2x plus 4y minus 2z equals 2. 2x minus y plus 2z equals 9. My z's cancel, so I have 4x plus 3y equals 2 plus 9 is 11. And I'm going to put a star by that. Now, since I've eliminated z's in the first two equations, I'm going to take the second and the third equation right here, and I'm going to eliminate those. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I have 2x minus y plus 2z equals 9, and then x minus 2y minus 3z equals negative 9. But I'm going to multiply. I noticed that in order for the 2 and the 3 to cancel, they both have to equal the same number. And one has to be positive and one has to be negative. So the number that both of them can go into is 6. So I'm going to multiply the top equation by 3, the bottom equation by 2. So that's going to give me 6x minus 3y plus 6z equals 27. Then I have 2x minus 4y minus 6z equals negative 18. My z's cancel, so I have 8x minus 7y equals 9, I believe. 27 minus 18 is 9. So here's our two equations. So I'm going to come over here, step number 3, and I have 4x plus 3y equals 11. 8x minus 7y equals 9. Now, I'm going to just multiply since the y's, one's positive and one's negative. I'm going to cancel out my y's. So I'm going to multiply the top equation by 7, the bottom one by 3. So that's going to give me 28x plus 21y equals 77. And 3 times 8 is 24. X minus 21y equals, what is that, 27? So the y's cancel. 28 plus 24 is 52. 77 plus 27 is 104. And I'm going to divide that by 52, and I believe I get 2. So x equals 2. Now, from here, I can pick either one of these equations right here, this one or this one, to get y. I'm going to pick the top one. So I have 4 times x, which is 2, plus 3y equals 11. So I have 8 plus 3y equals 11. 3y equals 3. So y is equal to 1. Now I found x and y. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to plug x and y into that top equation, and I'm going to solve for z. So x was 2 plus 2 times y, which is 1, minus z equals 1. So I have 2 plus 2 is 4, minus z equals 1. Negative z is equal to negative 3. So z is equal to what? Positive 3. So my answer is 2, 1, and 3. And I'm done. Okay, step number 2. I'll give you a second to copy that down. We have 2x plus 3y plus 4z equals 12. Negative 6x minus 12y minus 8z equals negative 56. 4x plus 6y plus 8z equals 24. Now, from the previous example, we're going to do the same steps. So step number 1 is to get rid of z. I'm going to take the first two equations, 2x plus 3y plus 4z equals 12, and then negative 6x minus 12y minus 8z equals negative 56. Now, if you're looking at the z's, I need the z's to cancel. So in order for them to cancel, I'm going to multiply that top equation by 2. So when I multiply that top equation, I'm going to come right down here. So that's going to give me 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 3y is 6y. Plus 2 times 4z is 8z. Equals 2 times 12 is 24. So I have negative 6x minus 12y minus 8z equals negative 56. I'm going to draw the line. The z's cancel. So I have negative 2x minus 6y. Oops, my bad. Let's get all that cleaned up. Minus 6y equals 24 minus 56 is negative 32. So I'm going to put a star by that. Now, if you notice that the second and the third equation are really easy because they both have 8z. So I'm going to have my second part of this is going to be negative 6x minus 12y minus 8z equals negative 56. 4x plus 6y plus 8z equals 24. My z's cancel, so I have negative 2x minus 6y equals negative 32. Now, what do you notice? You notice that this equation and the other equation are the exact same. So therefore, that means that all three of these equations are the same line. So we're done. It would be all real numbers. That's our answer. Because we just saw that both of these are the same equation. And that would be our answer. You're done with this example.